Welcome learners to Unit 6.1, titled Pre-Production of Video. Objective 6.1.2, planning a project to produce an educational video. The unit flowchart has what it takes to plan an educational video and the necessary resources that should be mobilized and the basic documents to be developed. Includes the activity of producing an educational video, which requires an appropriate methodological approach and considerable research, writing, and visualization efforts combined with a methodical approach, which are necessary to achieve a quality instructional video, hence the need for good planning. Now, this part of the guide provides information on how to define or identify a project to produce an educational video. What resources, material, financial, human, and time are needed. What basic tools are useful for producing an educational video. Training reference frameworks, table of operationalization of a skill, educational synopsis and storyboard sheets, shooting plan sheets, and shooting schedule sheets. The first step in planning is to define the boundaries of the project using the QQOQCCP method. The questions to be asked include what, who, where, when, how, and why. These questioning tools will allow the planner to determine the basic elements of a project definition for the production of an educational video. Defining the objectives that the educational video should achieve is the first step in the video production project, and it is very crucial. Indeed, this will guide you or the planner through the stages of producing the educational video. Assess the learning objective, that is the subject or the theme to be covered in the video. If it is too large, break it down into several micro objectives, each of which will be the subject of an educational video to avoid it being too long. The following procedure and tips can be used to identify the learning content or sequences that the video should be used to facilitate transmission. Identify the targets of the video. In this guide, we'll be talking about learners. A good example of learners' characteristics include age, level of knowledge, among others. This helps to better adapt the resource so that its use is useful and beneficial. It also affects the way in which the multimedia elements, including sounds, images, videos, texts, are embedded in order to produce a suitable educational video. Determining when the video will be used will also allow the planner to think about its feasibility, programming and production mode, which includes self-production or professional team. Self-production is when the trainer takes care of the production of the video, whereas a production team is when a team of professionals takes care of the production of the resource. The team may be made up of trainers within the institution or simply an audiovisual service provider. The video must be of very good quality, whether self-produced or produced by a team. To achieve this, the designer will need to have all the technical, financial, and human resources to make a good production. It has been found that teamwork generally results in a higher quality resource or production. At this level, the context or medium of use or reviewing of the video must be specified. Each modality has its own technological and technical requirements that must be known beforehand. For example, the use of an online training platform or video broadcasting. These are all important questions that need to be answered to help define the educational video planning project. Video processing angles. This is an important element of the production of an educational video. There are two types of video production, including video film and video capture. Whichever type of production is chosen, the angle of treatment should be clearly defined. Whichever type of production is chosen, the angle of treatment should be clearly defined. There are two of this angle of treatment. The first is objective angle of treatment, which involves the trainer only relying on the teaching materials seen in relation to the learning objective of the course. So the video will typically bring out the reality. The second is subjective treatment angle, which involves the trainer inserting emotion and humor into the video to convey his or her teachings and learning. Now, to do this, to determine the most appropriate angle of treatment, we need to refer to the nature of the educational content to be transmitted, the characteristics of the learners, and then above all is what effect we are looking for after using the video. Activities to be carried out before, during, or after watching the video can also be integrated into the video, including games and exercises. When planning the production of an educational video, video film, or video capture, a number of material, human, and financial resources must be provided. The material sheets for turning should include references, name of material, features, and comments. The material sheet for video capture should include references, name of hardware or software, features, and comments. Human resources. The composition of the technical implementation team include a project manager, whose roles and responsibilities include coordination of all pre-production, production, and post-production activities to ensure the final quality of the project or product so that it is suitable for the target audience. Another human resource is the script writer, who sets the scene, writes the script. In the case of an educational video, he or she starts from the reference framework and determines lesson by lesson the best way for the learner to acquire the targeted skills. Another resource is a content expert. The content expert is often the teacher in an educational video. At the production level, we have a cameraman who is responsible for recording the images set by the script writer or content expert. Another human resource at the production level is a sound recordist, who ensures that the sound is recorded in consultation with the cameraman. When sound is directly linked to the cameraman plays both roles. Then we have an editor who is responsible for collecting the footage, rushing it according to the script, and editing the images and sounds to produce a quality work. For financial resources, we have an example of a simple audiovisual production budget for teachers, as shown in the table. The items to be considered include conceptualization of scenario and various teaching sheets, location scouting, production team meetings, training if required, turning inputs for demonstration and turning, rental of the premises, director, travel for filming, including hotel, per diem, food and transport, depreciation of equipment, including cameras, computer software, and others. We also have, under the post-production, we have filters, subtitles, overheads, including insurance, financial costs, taxes, rents, electricity, internet connection. We also have the business specialists, animators, and production assistants. All these items have financial implications. Now, development of basic documents. We have the training framework. It's a framework document on technical and vocational training. The TOC, which is the table of operationalization of the competence. The educational team sheet, which describes the course of the learning sequence. The synopsis sheet, which presents what will be produced. The storyboard sheet that describes precisely in sound and image what will be shown and heard. The shooting plan, which proposes the shots to be shot. The shooting schedule, which shows the process or proposes a shooting schedule. Then the assembly plan, which is the basis for editing. Some changes can be made to the scheme in the case of video capture, as shown below. For the training framework, it can now be the framework documents on technical and vocational training. For the TOC, table of operationalization of the competence, educational sheet, describes the course of the learning sequence. Synopsis sheet presents what will be produced. Storyboard sheet describes precisely in sound and image what will be shown and heard. Then the assembly plan, the basis for editing. This unit provides information on how to define or identify a project to produce an educational video, what resources, material, financial, human, and time are needed, what basic tools are useful for producing an educational video, the table of operationalization of a skill, educational sheet, synopsis sheet, storyboard sheet, shooting plan sheet, and shooting schedule sheet. Now that you have completed this segment of instruction, please engage in the following transformative reflection activities. Focus on your assumptions that underlie your beliefs, feelings, and actions regarding the planning to produce an educational video. Examine and assess the consequences of these assumptions on your belief, feelings, and actions in relation to planning to produce an educational video. Consider your learning experiences while completing this segment of instruction. Make a critical reflection of how this instruction has enabled you to identify and explore alternative assumptions or reinforced your existing assumption regarding planning to produce an educational video. If this reflection has enabled you to consider alternative assumptions, test the validity of these assumptions by participating in a reflective dialogue with a critical friend or by engaging in self-reflection. Endeavor to go through the quiz for self-assessment by circling the correct answers that apply to each question.